How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Trove with us today. He can say his name and what he does in the band.
Hey, my name is Davey, and I do all the throat things in Trove.
Awesome. Well, it's a huge honor, a huge pleasure. I'm such a massive fan of like older Vanna stuff, so I've been wanting to have you on. So you checked
Hell
off
yeah,
another
dude.
a bucket list person off my list here. But
Ugh.
Davey, the first question is for people who aren't familiar with you. I guess how did you start out Trove? As I mentioned before, you were in Vanna prior to this, so what made you kind of jump from Vanna to Trove now, and tell people how it all began pretty much.
Yeah, so Vanna kind of was coming towards the end of its shelf life. And it'd been a really amazing run, and that we kind of knew we had a few tours left. We kind of knew this was like starting to come. And at the time I was living in Maine actually, and was kind of jamming with a couple of buddies of mine at a studio that I worked with, and I just wanted to do something that was like for fun and with my friends, and something that didn't have to, like, I don't know, live up to any expectations except for my own and for what I wanted to do. And I think when I started Trove with a couple of our friends from Maine, my
Mm-hmm.
buddy Jack, my buddy Kev, and my buddy Jake, we were just having some fun with it. And then Vanna, announced a breakup, and we, did the whole thing and the touring and all that kind of stuff. And towards the end of the touring, I started getting some of the Trove record back and getting really excited about it, and kind of finding this like new, just like a whole new mindset for writing lyrics. Vanna was very, very much so about my recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and me kind of blossoming to a better and greater plant or person. And Trove has kind of had this different focus for me, and just like anything else, it needs to have its own relationship. So I started that, and then my buddy Tron, Anthony, from a band called To the Wind, who, if anyone knows To the Wind, an amazing band that constantly toured with Vanna, and me and Anthony became like sort of like Bash Bros when we did tours together. Um, and I love the guy to death, and we just became really so close. And then when I moved over, well, before I moved over to the West Coast where he is, he was like, I know you're doing something. What are you doing? And I sent him Trove stuff, and we weren't going to be a 5-piece, but man, it's just like if I had any guy, any human being, Tron was the guy. So he joined up with us, and we started writing stuff. And then, for a couple years, like, we were just kind of being low key.
Mm-hmm.
We did
Yeah.
our own tours. We toured with Emery. We did a couple headliners. We did some fun, like, mixed genre festivals. I basically didn't do anything that I was previously doing, and just kind of exploring new worlds. And that was really fun. And then in 2016, 17, I moved over to Portland, Oregon. And we had kind of not been doing much with Trove for a minute. Everyone kind of got wrapped up in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
There's some
Yeah.
like personal scenarios, whatever. And now being on the West Coast, same, coast as Tron, we started kind of just being like, I think we're gonna like give this a go. And I think, it's like funny. It's like whenever things happen in your life, or I'm always like, oh man, how do I always deal with this stuff? I'm like, oh right, I play music, I write songs. This is adjacent to therapy, and trying to live right is a way that I express myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of need. So we kind of started things back up again about 2 years ago, and we got some new members. Josh, who plays in my solo stuff and one of my best friends in the entire world. Vanna toured with his band in Alaska. They brought us to Alaska.
Whoa.
And then Tron was playing in a band with Cody, our drummer, and was like, this guy's got to jam with us. He's the man. And now Cody's one of my best friends in the entire world. And then Jeff, who is our like tour manager, slash lawyer slash basically band manager guy, he like was touring with us, and then he just ended up playing bass for us. And it was just kind of like all of us like walking into each other's lives being like, this is what we need to do. And it's been a really cool brotherhood, man. And it's been interesting and really cool to, like, as maybe do or do not know, the Vanna guys, we all kind of like lived kind of separate in New England. We kind of all
Mm-hmm.
spread
Yeah.
apart. And it's rad living in like a city with all your dudes and being able to like, jam and go to a bar and hang out and do stuff together. I mean, as of recently, we've been starting to see each other again.
Yeah.
It was interesting because when we kicked off the beginning of Trove again and we recorded a new record, we had all these plans and all these things. And obviously COVID
Mm-hmm.
decided to shoot everyone's plans in the foot for
Yeah.
about 2 years. So we kind of just chilled and we put out some great videos together, and anything we did, we were going to make sure we did it all together. So I think that over answered the question that you were
No,
asking, maybe.
this is great.
Uh,
This is
but
I
yeah, just to speed things up and get you to where we are now. Yeah, it's been interesting, and it's kind of come in waves. And I for a while, I'm a person, for better for worse. A lot of us lived a life where our bands and music dictated everything in our
sure,
lives,
yeah.
and that was cool. That was really cool for a time period. But now we're all like, all of us in the band are a little bit older and a little bit wiser and have done this before, so now we can avoid some pitfalls and do the things we want to do and kind of play by our own rules, which is cool. Which again, I don't, there might be some bands out there and people that always played by their own rules and have always done stuff like this. We just, I just kind of did what you were supposed to do for a while,
Sure, yeah.
and now I'm just doing what I want to do, which is really awesome. I'm doing it with like 4 amazing dudes.
I mean, based off of what you said, and I've seen you guys play a couple years ago, and I want to say last year just because I feel like 2020 doesn't exist.
Yeah,
We
we'll
already
just
talked
say
about that.
last year. Yeah,
Last year.
last year.
And I was like, man, it's so cool to see you back up on stage. And like, I had seen like live videos, and I've definitely seen Vanna before. And like, and it's cool to see like you're still doing it, because I was like a little worried like after you guys announced like we're retiring it, like all this sort of thing.
Sure.
And I was like, oh man, I'm like, Davey's got to be doing something. I was like, I feel like you once a musician, always a musician, and you
Yeah.
always got to create. And so like it was cool to like listen to Trove, like just because I was like, man, I'm like, it's adjacent enough to like be like, for people who like I know that are friends of mine, that I'm like, you liked Vanna, I feel like you're gonna like Trove. It's a little bit
Yeah.
more easier, like that I could like get into somebody who maybe isn't into like metal and like they're more into kind of like rock. It kind of hits that territory, and I think it just
Sick.
kind of blends everything that I like. And just you speaking so kindly about like your band members being like your brothers and stuff, it just warms my metal heart. So I love hearing
God,
that.
that's awesome.
And I feel like it shows, like you guys had just such a great presence to you guys, and like it seemed like you guys were just joking around, having a good time, and just playing a show. And like it's so cool to see that you guys like enjoy it, and it seems like you're definitely enjoying it more. And I'm not discounting Vanna at all, but like it
Yeah.
just seems like you're up there, like you want to have a good time, you're ready to just sing, like slash scream your heart out, and it's real cool. So
Yeah, thank you, dude. I think you know what it is. I think that like it reminds me of being in like a band in high school again with
that's
like your
great.
your
Yeah,
buddies, and the only purpose is to just have fun and play some awesome music. I think that I look at it like this: like Vanna was like, it became a career. It became our
yeah,
careers. It became our whole lives. Um, and yeah, joining Vanna myself. Also, this is a weird fact that I kind of realized. So every touring band I've ever joined, or any band I've ever joined and then toured or what have you,
sure,
since I was like 18, I joined somebody else's band, and like it became my band.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah, yeah.
I became a part of it. Trove is the first band I started from the ground up, and since I was like 16 years old. So it's cool. It reminds me of that. It's got that vibe. And again, like Vanna became a career, and it's gonna stay what it is. Vanna, I think that we secured our place. Our
For
last
sure.
our last show and our last tour, I realized that we weren't the biggest band in the world, but I think we were friggin' important to people,
Yeah.
and that's really cool. That's awesome. And now I think with Trove, I think my whole vibe is like, cool. I want to have fun. I'm here to make you dance. Like, let's just have fun. It's always the same thing, though. Like, there's a lot of things I think that people go, oh, that was a Vanna thing. I wonder if he'll do that in Trove. Like, that's a me thing. That's a me
Yeah.
thing.
No,
Like, I want
100%.
everybody to, I want you to lose it. I want you to have fun. I want you to forget about your day, forget about your week, and come to the rock show and party for just even a night, man, without getting too deep or too heavy on anything. I just want you to have a good time. Music is here to move you, and I want you to
Yeah.
move. So yeah, I think I smile a lot more and I dance a lot more. And that also has to do with the content we're talking about. The stuff, again, Vanna was very much about my recovery, and if you are fans of those songs, you understand some of the things I've gone through.
Yeah.
And
Certainly.
Trove is my like, all right, it's party time now. Let's have some fun.
We out
Yeah,
here. We're doing it.
totally, dude, totally. Yeah, yeah,
Uh, for the next question, Davey, I've been asking a lot of bands I've had on recently, and I'm curious on your answer. For people who are unfamiliar with Trove and are like, man, I didn't know Davey still do music. That's awesome. What song would you recommend to new listeners that kind of give you like a flavor, a texture of what you do now? Because you got some great content. So I'm curious which one you
yeah.
lock in.
So it's definitely like super different. Like you said, it's sort of like it's like it's in the lane next to Vanna. We're just driving two different
You're
cars. You know what I
parallel.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just rocking two different vehicles. You know what I mean? If I think Vanna was like, I don't know, Vanna was like a an old reliable car that was just like crushing it, over 200,000 miles on it, and Trove is like it's like a Mack truck with like a forklift in the front of it, and just
You're
like, get
right.
out the way, let's go. But yeah, I think maybe, geez, Shook Me is getting a lot of radio play,
Yeah.
which has been really cool. It's, you know, it was like one of the like more different tracks, and my vocals have like definitely progressed, which is like, I hope everyone's cool with that, because I'm cool with it, and B, I don't care if you're not cool with it. I got better at things, and I like to have fun with it. And I think Shook Me is a good track. I think Manic Impressive is a good track, and then maybe like Becoming Memories. Those are like the three tracks that I would be like, check these out. These are like, you know, and there's a lot of I think there's a lot of like me on there, but there's a lot of like newer stuff too. Also, Tron is a phenomenal vocalist and could
Yes.
easily just be the vocalist of Trove, and I don't even have to be in the band. So he's got a ton of vocals, and I love, you know, I've always loved the back and forth. You
Oh,
know, me
100%.
and me and Evan, me and Joel, me and Casey. I've always like loved that, like, you know, that give and take
Interaction.
big time. So when we kind of restarted, you know, writing new stuff for Trove, I told Tron, I was like, you are singing on this. Like, your voice is going to be heard on this, brother. He's an amazing vocalist. He's an amazing producer. And so, again, to long answer that, Shook Me, Manic Impressive, and Becoming Memories. Those tracks.
I would agree. I feel like Shook Me was the first one that I listened to, and I was like, this is it. Like I got what he's doing. Like it's my vibe.
Yeah.
Like I'm all about it. But Becoming
Oh,
Memories,
yeah.
that one I think has been. I feel like that one's been the dark horse. You know, it's been coming up,
Yep.
and I'm like, man, this one might. I was like, no offense to Shook Me, but I was like, we might be taking over a little
Could
bit
take
more.
the place.
It takes
Yeah,
the
yeah, no,
place. So
totally. You know what's funny about that song? It was the last song that we did, and I was like, this song's trash. And he brought like Tron brought, we were in the studio, and I'm like, I don't get it, like I don't get it. And then he like flipped and reversed the part, and I was like, oh, that's the chorus, that's the verse. And then we did it, and I was like, that's my favorite song of the record. But like right before it, I was like, yo, this song sucks, get it out of here. And now it's my favorite. So yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I love that track.
I can't agree, Tron. I don't know if you're gonna watch this, but you're also a fantastic singer. I'm excited to see
he
more
was
shit.
he was gonna he was gonna come on this, but he had to do some therapy, and I was like, no, you go to your therapy session, man. It's more important than this. So
Yeah,
bless you, Tron. We love you. He's out there somewhere.
yeah. Tron, next time you'll have to come on though for sure.
Yeah, he's an animal.
But the next question, Davey, I'm sure you get asked this a lot because you've been probably doing interviews for longer than I've been doing this for. Who are you influenced by? Who kind of got you started out in music? And then who influences you more currently, like in terms of what, Trove is doing and will be doing?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. So I definitely grew up in the era, and I think like a lot of people. I'm 36, so I grew up in like the era of like when Warped Tour was first starting to like really start to shine, and it's like you have like actual pop punk, not like new pop punk, starting to like pop up and get
Yeah.
big. MXPX, Blink 182, but like also like Eminem is popping up, and then like Limp Bizkit and Korn is coming from over here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then there's also you're still getting like the radio rock influence and stuff. So like when I was a kid, I was like, I wanted to be Kurt Cobain. I wanted to be James Hetfield. You know what I mean? I wanted to be, Metallica, Nirvana. Those were like my main two. And then, discovering punk rock music, opened up a lot of doors for me. And then discovering like hardcore and metal through that. So like, yeah, I mean, my influences run, starts with Nirvana and stuff like that, up to like Metallica, Pantera. But then my mom also listened to like Fleetwood Mac,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And Paul Simon and folk music and stuff like that, and a little bit of country. So I have like all these influences. My mother would just play records in her house all the time, and it might be a Black Sabbath record, it might be a Patsy Cline record. So I had like so much great influence that like kind of constructing the band that I want to like be in. I'm like, I want it to be a grunge band, but I also want it to be kind of new metal, but I also want to be able to take a song like Becoming Memories. We're doing a stripped down like acoustic version of
Yeah.
it. I want to, you know what I mean? Like I feel like Trove is that vessel that I can, do all these great things. And the best part is like I was talking to Anthony on the phone earlier about him and I have these weird analogies that like when we make them together, we're like, yes, we know what we're talking about.
You got
And
that
then
same
and then this
wavelength.
yeah, and then the second I say it to anybody else, they're like, cool, I have no idea what that means. So I'll like Anthony will call me and be like, yo, I'm working on this like song, and I'm like, yo, this riff, like I was like, I need you to make this riff sound like Nirvana and Metallica are hanging out backstage at, I don't know, Woodstock or something, and they get into like a drunk fight together. Can you write me a riff like that? And he's like, oh yeah, no problem, got it. So like that man, like I just express, like I'll give him songs sometimes or lyrics or whatever, and
Hmm.
he'll just be like BRB, and then I'll just get like a Dropbox link at like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm hella stoned, and I'm like, oh yes, yes. Attach it to my Bluetooth and my surround sound to like wake my wife up. I'm like, listen to this. It's the band we can do it all in, and I don't think that we believe in any kind of like labels or anything like that. I know we're writing our new record right now. Oops, yeah, we're writing a new record right now. We've been listening to a lot of like Prodigy and Chemical Brothers and
Oh,
like
nice.
like 90s, like early 2000s, like electronic rock like stuff. We've been listening to a lot of that stuff, and just kind of pulling influence from literally everywhere as we can. And the more that he pulls influence from that kind of stuff. Like I grew up singing Metallica songs on the radio and Pearl Jam songs on the radio, and so like the more that we get back to like a sing along in a car, that's what we kind of want our records to be like, a single like the sing along you had in the backseat of your mom's minivan when you were
Oh,
like
yeah.
13, listening to your Walkman or Discman. Like that's what we're going for. So yeah, the influences range. We've been playing a lot of like during quarantine. We're playing a lot of like him and I are playing a lot of Tony Hawk Pro Skater,
Oh,
and like those soundtracks always are hitters. So yeah, man, like we did a cover of I probably can't say what we did. I was so close.
you're
Sorry, it's not
close.
out yet. Yeah. I did a cover of a band that we both grew up on that has like back and forth vocals. That did Warped Tour and stuff, and it's good to listen to them when you're uh, receiving back the Lord's Day. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Um, so we got a lot of crazy influence in there, and we just kind of don't say no to anything. I'm like, put it in, whatever. It's like the Gremlins 2 movie, like whatever it is, I don't care. It's going in the movie. Put it in the movie.
I feel
Um,
that. I feel like you
yeah,
guys take from like what I love about it is that like you guys kind of pull from that like classic rock vibes, like I feel like
totally.
you guys could have like easily come into like the latter half of like classic rock where it kind of met grunge, where Nirvana was at and stuff, and definitely like a lot of like the larger influences that are in the scene now. Like I definitely feel like you guys have that staple aspect to you, but also like there's something just like nostalgic that I went back
Yeah,
and listened to like some of the songs today because I knew I was gonna have you on, and I was just like, man, like some of these Trove tracks I could have like definitely mistaken them for like an older like classic rock nostalgia vibe,
yeah.
and it's great.
That's that's exactly what we're going for. Is like we just want to write records that like jack us up as much as like Limp Bizkit, like Significant Other, or like Korn, Follow the Leader. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. MXPX Life in general. Like I just want to write stuff that makes like 13 to 18-year-old me be like, fuck, I love this. Yeah, man, it's what it's all about. So
I have a question for you, Davey. Since you've been in the scene for a long time, how does it how does it translate? Because obviously, like, I'm 28, so like have been doing this for like 5 years, which feels like an
Oh yeah.
eternity. But like, you've
Yeah.
been in Vanna, you're doing Trove now, like. As kind of, I would say, at least in my opinion, one of the staple people in the scene. You know,
Sick.
how does that feel to like be in the scene for so long and go through like a bunch of different changes, like you were saying earlier, like earlier Warp Tour, like now then we were into like modern Warp Tour and like all that or other stuff. And I imagine it's quite a lot as one individual. But how do you feel like you've been handling it? Because it seems like I feel like you've got a pretty good track record, honestly, if I'm going to be honest.
I think okay. Again, when I started doing this, and I've been touring since before Vanna, and then touring in Vanna. When I signed up for Vanna again, it was like something where I was like, I want to experience life, and I want to maybe change the person the way that I am. And in order to do that, I had to like get out of my place. I had to change my location. I had to go around the world and see the world and meet tons of people to have honestly, to have like a humbling experience and not let my ego control things. And Vanna was a very therapeutic and amazing experience for me. I think the thing that I always like struggle with, and I struggled with it then, I struggle with it now, is that like this scene that we're in, punk rock,
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to be about, you know, it's about second chances. It's about non-judgment. It's about giving you a place to go because you don't belong anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt for a long time in my life until I found punk rock. And I generalize like metalcore and the hardcore scene, everything in punk rock. And what bums me out and what is harsh for me is that being a person that has been here for so long, right? And surviving those like generational gaps of like I was touring when we did Asking Alexandria's first United States tour, and they played second, and they played. It was Motionless in White, Asking Alexandria, Vanna,
Whew.
a Static Lullaby, and
Oh
I
my.
can't and one more band. And it's funny to see all of those bands like rise and fall, and we were
Yeah.
still doing it. We still did it the entire time, and I've seen so many amazing musicians and people and scenes. I've seen them all come and go in each
Yeah.
city. And when I see things like literally like people in the scene being cops to each other and policing each other and being like this cool guy movement that's happened primarily a lot in hardcore, that happens in metalcore and everywhere. I just like I get so sad because I'm like, that's not the way it used to be, and that's not the way it should be ever. And
Oh yeah.
I've been around long enough to see it come in waves, and I'm like, I know what happens next. What happens next is people get exhausted with that, and it's back to like loving everybody. And I don't love making fun of other people's walks of life and mental health issues and
Yeah.
anything like this is not a part of like what we are supposed to be doing here. And that being said, I have made some of the most supportive, amazing, graceful, and attentive friends of my life through this industry and this
Yep.
scene.
I agree.
When I've fallen upon hard times, I've turned to my community to keep me accountable, to help me with my mental issues, to support my band, and then and vice versa with everybody else. It's been a really cool thing to be able to see that. It was a cool thing to go on tour or meet bands like Knock Loose,
Yeah.
a band who grew up listening to Vanna. You know what I mean? It's a blessing to still be able to rub shoulders and see all these people and be a part of something. I'm a guy that I never thought I would have a community and a family, and now I have you know an amazing and supportive community, an amazing and supportive family. And it's all been because of music. But also, I think it's because a lot of us come from the same walk of life.
Yeah.
And I think we're all kind of searching for a very similar thing. And, music speaks to a lot of us. So I like to say this is that I've been in here for 15 years because the music is still speaking to me. It has nothing to do with scene politics or popularity or guest vocals or album streams. I'm just here to play music. So if people like the music that I play and they want to support it, then that's awesome. And if they don't, I'm still going to be here playing it anyways. And I feel lucky that I can still have a career. I feel lucky that I get to, continue to do this all the time. So, I do, it's cool to be able to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, uh, you know, everybody in this is equal. We're all in this together. And I just feel privileged that I can still have this much gray hair and be in the scene. So, yeah, if everyone's watched my progression, you just watched my hair just get grayer and whiter as the years have gone on. And, I am, I'm grateful to be here. Grandfather punk rock is grateful to still be here. So,
Yes, I would agree. I want to say that was like probably one of the best speeches about the scene. I don't think I could have eloquently worded it better than you have, and honestly, I feel like it's well deserved that you've been in the scene. I know you're a very gracious person, and like honestly, like I know we keep talking about Vanna. I'm sure that gets tiring at some point, but like,
oh man,
it meant like that music meant a lot to me. Now it still means a lot to me, and like I think that's the reason why like I just love doing this, and that's why the reason why I do this is like I love music. No matter if you make like rap music to country music, it's all music. Everybody's from different walks of life. Everybody brings a different perspective, and like I think it's important for people to know about this music, regardless of if they're like the next pop star or they're like a metal
sure.
band that's like doing it in like a little shed out in the middle of nowhere. Like music.
That metal band probly rules.
They do.
Probably rules.
That
yeah.
I mean, I've seen some of my favorite shows have been house shows. So I mean, you gotta love it. But like, I think like kind of what you said, like that's the reason why I love the scene too. Is just like I feel like I didn't have a place to go. Like I didn't know what I wanted to be or where I wanted to be at, and like the scene has definitely been a large staple of my life. And I feel like this whole YouTube channel is a dedication to what I've learned and what I love and the people that I care about, and I'm glad to add you to amongst the list of people that I care about. So go check out Trove. Listen, that's the reason you're on here. Please go check out Davey's band. I mean, listen, I gotta show this man some love. He's doing the Lord's work out here. So go drop in the comments. But the next question, Davey, I'm sure you got asked this before too, but I'm very curious. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, well, I'm a mood guy. I'm a vibe guy, and I'm I'm all about the vibe. So, okay, so I'll set you up for right now, right?
Okay.
So, I'm just leaving acupuncture right now.
Okay.
I'm feeling rested. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm about to go play a little bit of tennis.
Okay.
I'm a tennis guy now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun
tennis
fact.
guy now. Yeah, big time. Fun fact that you didn't know about me. I'm a tennis guy now. Was a tennis guy before, back to being a tennis guy. So I'm gonna go grab a little game of tennis with my buddy, and then we go back to the house. And my wife was like, I was like, I was editing a Trove music video and doing a bunch of work. I'm gonna go play tennis, and I was like being crabby. And she was like, "Do you want mac and cheese?" And I was like, "Yes, I want mac and cheese, please." But I was like, I kind of want steak mac and cheese. So mac and cheese has been a big popular comfort food for me. So we're going to go with that as the answer today because I'm feeling mac and cheesy today, and I'm looking forward to getting a little bit of it in a little while. So
there we go.
Yeah, mac and cheese.
Listen.
Mac and cheese. Annie's mac and cheese. If you're making it at home, Annie's mac and cheese. And also, by the way, mac and cheese, put it in a bowl, and then put it in an air fryer for a little bit, and it crisps up the top of it like it's a mac and cheese bake. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you love yourself and you like fun and, you just truly have a desire to live, try that, please.
You blew my mind. I never thought to put it in the air fryer. So
yeah, once you get an air fryer, this is a call to everybody.
Yes.
Listen, and it's air fryers aren't bougie. You can get them on, you can get them at stores, and you get them online for very cheap. Air fryer is going to change your life. It's going to make your life better. It was one of our first COVID purchases, and I'm never going back. I don't need to go back. And you save money. You save money because you can make you can do your wings or your vegan wings. You can do all these things. You can do everything in it.
I agree. I fully support Davey on this. I am an air fryer aficionado. My girlfriend, shout out to my girlfriend. She told me to put an Uncrustable in the air fryer. That
Shout out to your girlfriend.
Yeah, it's fire. I'm
good?
not
Oh,
I,
that
it's
sounds
so
so
good.
good.
She bought the ones with like the Nutella in it, which first of all, didn't know that
Wait,
existed.
wait, 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 wait. What?
Yes,
They
there's
have ones with, is it
Uncrustables.
Nutella with peanut butter?
I don't know if it's with peanut butter. It might just be like a brick of Nutella in there, but
That's illegal. That's
it
illegal. They would
is. It
call the
is illegal.
FBI.
If I live in New Jersey, so if Davey, if you want to send me your address, I'll send you a box of.
I've never seen them. Yeah, I
yeah,
absolutely will.
I will.
Please do. I'll do a whole Uncrustables unboxing.
I'm not even joking with you. If I find it again, I will send you a box of Uncrustables.
Please do, because I'm gonna tell my partner now, and she will not stop until we get them. So you've done it now.
All right, I'll write it on my phone list. My girlfriend will probably watch this and hold me accountable. So, Davey, the Uncrustables hopefully will be there before this interview, but if not, you're gonna have to let me know.
That would be incredible.
I blew your mind right now. You blew my mind with the mac and cheese. Now I'm gonna blow your mind with Uncrustable.
I'm thinking of all the options for a dessert with Uncrustable in the air fryer, bro. Like, I like hot and cold. Like, if I can have like ice cream, I'm gonna want ice cream on a hot brownie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to melt. It's when it melts and it makes the thing.
The sauce.
I'm hungry now.
Well, guys, if you want Davey to get some Nutella Uncrustables, make sure to add him on Twitter. And,
yeah, please do.
And Trove on Twitter, which again should be following both of them on Twitter. I don't know.
Only follow the Trove account, because I don't really use Twitter anymore, but I do use the Trove account, and it's low key so good, but nobody follows it. So if you just go on there, you'll see it's just me. It's like a stream of conscious throughout my day as I get stoned. That's all it is. That's literally all it is. It's just like a healthy stream of conscious. Yeah. Follow the Trove Twitter. It's fire.
There we
go. Every once in a while, Tron will be like, text me and be like, "Dude, are you good?" Oh, sorry. I went on like a
I'm sorry, I went off on Twitter, but
I do it all the time.
The next question, Davey, I'm very curious how you're going to answer this one. If you were to have a guest feature on an up-and-coming Trove record, who would you want to sign on?
Oh boy, we've been thinking about this. We always go back and forth between just doing everything ourselves and then being like, "Oh, would you want a guest vocalist?" Instead of going like all-time wish list, I'm just gonna go with someone that I have not been able to stop listening to in the last like couple years, only because I've been friends with them and I've got to like see this transformation. But Courtney LaPlante from Spiritbox, man, when I tell you that we did her first 2 tours with Iwabo and Vanna, and just I love her. I love Michael. I watched that relationship like come together, and me and my partner are really close with them, and I love Spiritbox, and I've been watching it since the beginning, and I know members of their team, and it's just like I couldn't think of a band that's doing it just more perfectly than Spiritbox right now. I can't think of it. And Courtney's vocals are they're the best. I would say Courtney is the best vocalist in metal right now, hands down. She's got a podcast and she's just killing it, and I'm proud of her. So Courtney, that would be the number one person, because there's nothing that human cannot do with their voice.
I would 1,000,000% agree. I've been on that Spiritbox train for a couple years now.
If you are not listening to Spiritbox, you are severely effing up, like big time.
Yeah.
You dropped the bag. Huge.
Yes, 100%. If you didn't watch Constance and cry like I did, because I cried. Tears, waterfalls down my face.
Beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
Everything they do is perfect, and I hope that they're the biggest band, not even in metal, but just in the world.
I would
just hope they become the biggest band in the world. I love them.
Guys, if you want to see a Trove Spiritbox collab, you gotta go on Twitter. Davey already plugged his Twitter.
There's a big connection there. So we've been the homies for a while. So yeah, I'm just so insanely proud. I would love to. That's the thing. We want to tour with all bands that we love, and we don't really care what the genre is. We just want to tour with bands that we love. So yeah, that would be. God, I think Spiritbox is also probably the most named band in an interview right now.
They are
this year. I think they're the most named band in an interview.
I know that I've talked about them a lot, but honestly, well deserved. So I feel like,
Big time.
again, go check out Spiritbox. But like, I want to hear this collab now. That's what I'm gonna be thinking about for the rest of this night now. So
That's all I think about all the time. Like me, it's just Courtney just wailing on a Trove. Courtney just wailing on a Trove track, and me just quitting Trove and being like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good, bro."
nah, I need to see that dual collab. I need to hear both Davey. I want to hear yourself and Courtney just together. That would be. I would end my career.
Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. There you are. It's been a while since Courtney and I have been on stage together. Probably since like 2000 and like 11. Do you see how far back I had to go?
Yeah, you would had to think. Yeah.
Woo! I've passed out for a second. It's been a while, so yeah, that'd be awesome. That's my answer. Love them. Spiritbox all day.
There we go. Davey, next question. You seem like a little bit of a gamer, so I'm going to ask you this question. It's my personal favorite. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Okay, so in a not well-known world, there's in Fortnite there was a season where there's this like guy, I don't know, he like looks like he's like in like rain gear and like has like I don't know whatever, and he has like beautiful gray hair, and I can't unlock him because he was like from seasons ago, and I have his like he's the second adaptation of another character I have. But I do have Cable from X-Men. I was a big X-Men fan, still am, always a big X-Men fan. And Cable was like one of my favorite dudes of all time. So when I could get him on Fortnite, I bought so many Marvel characters on Fortnite. So here's a game that I play, and I don't know a lot of people play this game, but I'm a stoner, so it makes sense for me. And I'm gonna botch the name of it. It's the game that like Norman Reedus is in, and he's a messenger.
Okay.
Come on, the Falling Down game. Why am I blanking on this game? If this was live, people would be yelling at me right now. You're a messenger. You're a messenger in the future. It's like a post-apocalyptic future game. I love his character. He's so like rugged, and like I love that like the male is the only thing that is like important in this post-apocalyptic like utopian future. And the mailman is so important. So I think I'd also like to be that guy.
There we go.
He's tough
well,
as nails.
Post Brandon will figure out what game Davey is talking about, just so
put
he doesn't.
Put it like
right here.
Put it like on the flashing on the screen. Like, this game, you idiot, dumbass. This game. I'm gonna hang up and drive away and be like, I'm gonna say it out loud what the game is. I'm so upset at myself.
It's okay, Davey. Listen, you can't remember everything of all time, so I'll give you a pass on it. It's okay.
I try. I am old now. So.
Next question, Davey. You kind of maybe semi already answered it, but if you were to compile a dream tour lineup with Trove, who would be on it? I know you mentioned one of them, which we already know, and I'm sure you're going to add it.
Okay, so dream tour. Okay, again, like based in like I'm gonna base this in reality and not say like, okay, all the members of Pantera are alive, okay, and Trove's opening. Because if we did that, I would want to do a tour with like Metallica, Pantera, and the Foo Fighters, but Trove's not actually on the tour. I'm just on the tour getting drunk every night and being like, hell yeah. But if we're doing a Trove tour, right now, I would, I don't know, man. Like maybe like bands that I like currently think are rocking that I'm having a lot of fun with. There might be some surprising ones in there too, but like Spiritbox, Avoid, Off-Road Minivan, and Trove would be cool. I did a solo tour with Off-Road Minivan, and they're like one of my faves.
I love those guys.
The Avoid boys are killing it. Spiritbox, honestly, Hyro the Hero.
Oh yeah, he's sick.
Dude, he's sick. He sounds like Rage Against the Machine.
He does.
I would love to do a tour at Hyro. Greyhaven, throw Greyhaven on there too. Yeah, throw a dueling. Here's the tour. It's Spiritbox, Avoid, Off-Road Minivan is opening, and in the middle, Trove and Greyhaven are playing at the same time, and we're having a dueling set back and forth. Which I'm foreshadowing to. Right now, that's a little foreshadow. Us in the industry like to call that foreshadow. The Greyhaven. So yeah, that would be a kick-ass tour. And we did some dates with Silent Planet right before the end of a Silent Planet Trove show kicks ass. That was fun. That was like really fun. I never got to do anything with Silent Planet. We did Warped Tour with them in Vanna, but Trove and Silent Planet thing go real well together. That would be and Currents was on that tour too.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a festival.
This is a festival. This is the Trove Festival.
It's Spiritbox, Silent Planet, Avoid, Currents, Off-Road Minivan, Greyhaven, Trove, dual fight.
Listen, sign me up.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, and Hyro the Hero.
Oh, and Hyro the Hero too. But he plays the after party at the bar.
Listen.
And then Corey Wells winds everything down at night.
Listen, where do I get tickets? I want to buy tickets right now. Like,
yep. Well, you know what? I'm gonna start a ticket link, just like every hopeful promoter for this year, and it'll never be get canceled. So coming soon.
Listen,
I'm just gonna make a flyer and be like, I'll make a flyer, and then I'll be like, oh, we had to cancel it, guys. You understand?
Don't break my heart like that, Davey. Listen, I'm hyped now. Like, if this somehow makes it into the universe, listen, I would be all about it.
Man, I would too.
The next question, Davey, favorite TV show, favorite movie?
I'm an Office guy. Anyone that knows me knows that I love The Office. I'm obsessed with The Office. It's my comfort show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my go-to for everything. You ever done this before? You ever watch a show that you like a show that you memorize?
Yeah.
And then you see a scene and you're like, what?
Yes,
what is this scene?
I got that. Yeah, I've had that.
I just happened to me with The Office the other day. I saw a scene that I was like, it was like stood out to me. And I was like, do I always fall asleep at this part? For the last decade, I've been falling asleep at this part. And then for movies, anything Christopher Nolan makes, I'm obsessed with. Tenet was a big movie for me this year that came out. Obviously, like, the Batman movies that he's done, Inception.
Yeah.
I mean, the man just makes. I'm a videographer and photographer. That's like my career. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy who has just always been like, I'm like, man, I like the way that he makes movies. Everything is just so impactful. Dunkirk, like, I don't know if you've seen Dunkirk,
that's great.
Man, you feel like those bombs are blowing up in your house, and like, it's wild. He's great with his color palettes, and I'm obsessed. If you've never watched Christopher Nolan movies and you're listening or watching this, you're effing up real bad. Once again. It's a big F. No
big
Christopher Nolan movies, F. No Spiritbox,
F.
F for you, my friend. Stop
double Fs. We don't take double
Fs, bro.
Yeah. We don't take double L's here. So
no, you're never gonna graduate. Never. Gonna graduate. No.
I will say I love the Nolan trilogy of Batman movies. That's still like
crushed.
Unmatched. I still think that's unmatched. I love Marvel movies too, but like I feel like that set of Batman series movies, can watch it all day.
It's iconic. Yeah, it's iconic. He just nailed it. I mean, and I'm also a comic nerd like you, and I wish DC would just let him just direct everything for them, because that darkness is what DC needs. But that's a whole nother interview, dude. That's a whole nother
you can come on again and we can talk about that sort of stuff. Listen, I'd be down.
We'll talk for days about DC versus Marvel all day,
every day. Next question, Davey. If you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one record you could bring with you to listen to, what would it be?
Oh man, I feel like I've been trapped on a desert island for like 2 years.
I feel that.
Yep. This is hard. There's a bunch of them. I'll rotate because I answer this often, but it ends up rotating with like a lot of my moods. Today, if you were to send me there today,
okay,
it would be Second Stage Turbine by Coheed and Cambria. Yeah, I know. That's 2002 that came out. 2002, unmatched. Coheed obviously had a huge career and they did really, really great. But that first record it got me, dude. It got me. It came out the year I graduated high school or something like that. So if you sent me there right now, that'd be the record.
I also can't believe that it will be 20 years old. Like, if it came out in 2002, it will be 20.
Yeah, it'd be 20 years old.
20-year-old next year, which is insane.
That means I'm so old. Wow, that does, yeah, because I was 17 when it came out. Wow, I really hate math.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Every time
someone needs to. I know that time is not real and it's not linear and that's not how time works. So somebody just fucking Thanos glove and make some time go crazy, because I am over this. This sucks.
Yeah. Every time I think about every record that came out in 2011 that is now 10 years old, it hurts my head. So I can't win.
And it came bearing bones. It came out in 2010. 2010. That's 10 years old. That is crazy.
I know.
Wow.
The next thing, Davey, and the last thing, I've been asking a lot of artists that I've had on recently about this. What do you want people to take away from Trove, whether it be from a lyrical aspect or a musical aspect? Like, what do you want new fans to like be like, oh, we watched this entire interview, it was great. Like, what do you want new fans to take away from your music, pretty much?
That music is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to move you, and it's supposed to create some sort of like emotion inside of you, depending on what you're listening to.
Yeah.
And the emotion that we want you to feel is fucking fun, bro. We want you to have fun. We want you to let loose, and that's what it's all about for us. Is just, without getting too deep and too crazy. I know, you know me. Like, music has saved my life and touched my
Yeah.
life and been my entire life, and now I want to just enjoy that life, and I want to make music that you can enjoy that too. So if you get anything out of this, we want you to listen to Trove and come to a Trove show and just have some fucking fun. Don't worry about what your t-shirt looks like or your haircut or how many tattoos you have on your face. We don't care. We just want you to come and have some fun.
And I can assure you, Davey is one of the nicest people I've met in the industry. I met him like a year ago. We're going to say a year ago.
Yes, a year ago.
And honestly, one of the nicest dudes. Like, we had like a great conversation, and it will forever be instilled in my head. So, go.
I'm glad it full circle a year later, and we were able to do this.
Listen, great. The last thing, Davey, the most important thing, tell the people where they can find you out on social media, what you guys have coming up. You kind of alluded to a new record, so, I don't know how much you can divulge, but, tell people what's up.
I'll divulge a bit. The band account is Trove the Band on Instagram, Trove the Band on Facebook, and Trove the Band on Twitter. And we got a record called World out. It's only been out for about 4 months now, 5 months. We got a couple music videos everywhere. You can go search the Modern Empire Records YouTube or any of our social media, because we've uploaded ours to our social media as well. And we have a kick-ass record coming. And if you like this one and you think it was heavy and fun, wait for the next one, because it's going to hit even harder.
There we go. And I have to ask, because the vinyl lover in me is going to ask, is there anything in the pipeline? I need to get.
There is. I'm also a vinyl collector and a vinyl lover myself, and there is. We're going to be doing a special merch drop of World and a special vinyl drop of World as well, and possibly I think maybe some collector edition CDs, because a lot of people have been asking for those, and I know. So we want to do something cool. So it won't be like a regular thing. Everything that we do with our merchandise will be limited, and it'll be gone. When it's gone forever, and we'll never make it again. Soon. All that stuff is coming very, very soon. We just kind of are, it's been tough times, and we realize that people, money is tight with a lot of people, and we want to give away our music. Our music's streaming on everything that you could possibly stream music to, and it's even available on Bandcamp. So please just listen to it, and we'll have some goodies and treats on the way.
There we go. Well, listen, if there's anything you already know about me and how much I love Davey here, go check out Vanna. Seriously, or go check out Vanna, but
go check them all out,
but go check out Trove. The reason you're here, go support Davey. He's been in the scene for a very long time, and I want to continue to have him be a staple here in the scene. So please go check out Trove. I'll leave all of the links in the description. I'll leave a link to all of their music. Go check that out. If you can buy it, please go purchase it. I'm sure bands right now could really appreciate it. And listen, that physical vinyl, listen, you heard it here first. I'm very excited for that.
On the way. It's on the way.
The last thing, if you like this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It goes a long way. I ask this all the time, but if you don't ask for it, you'll never receive it. So thank you guys.
Like this guy. Share this guy. Come on now.
Thank you. And of course, massive thank you to Davey for coming on and checking yet another name off my bucket list of people to have on.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.